Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. How's everybody doing today? Today I want to talk about something that's very important. Of all you guys that's actually coming here, and the guys that are actually here, is something I want to talk about this today. This seems to be a issue that's happening more and more as like anywhere else in the world. Nowhere is perfect. I don't care where you go. There's crime here, there's crime all over, there's crime in the States, there's crime in Asia, there's crime all over. But one thing I want to talk about today is drugs and gangs in schools. Is there such a thing as drugs and gangs in schools? And how bad is it here in the Philippines? Well, people think, don't be so naive to think it's all perfect in perfect world and everything is good. There's pros and cons in any factor that you do here. Now, I can only vouch for what we've been through and what we've gone through. I've decided to talk about this. This has been an ongoing issue. This has been going on now for years. The only time it relinquished was during COVID, and then now it's cranking back up again. As you guys know, we've been all over it. Okay, so RR's been in multiple schools. It's not like she just goes to one school and I can only talk about that one school. So she's been in numerous schools, 5, 6 schools in the last 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. So today I want to talk about this. No matter where we've been, including where we live, there's always been a drug problem in schools. I'm talking from kinder to 6, 7, 8, kinder to high school. No matter where you go. I don't care where you go, it's a drug problem. We tend to take her and put her into Christian schools thinking that that would deter. It has to some extent, but they still have the gang problems and they still have the issues. But remember, they're starting to check the backpacks. They're starting to do a lot of things in these schools. Young kids, as young, I'm talking 5, 6, 7, 8. Parents always are around the kids all the time, so they keep an eye on them. So parents keep away certain people that actually would come to the school and target the kids and to get them to sell drugs and things like that. But you'll find that in these bigger schools with 3, 4, 5,000, 10,000 students, some of these schools are huge. They'll have like 5,000 students. You have, 500 or 1,000 parents, but then you have all the students, and they can't control that. Here in this school, when she was here, they do have a drug problem, they have a gang problem. She was telling me that they were going to go fight the gang from another school, and there's going to be a fight, and all the girls are going to go, and she stopped and did not go because she knew that I've instructed her on gangs because I grew up with gangs in Arizona when I was a kid, so I'm very familiar with carrying a knife and things like that, and brass knuckles when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. To survive, okay, to live. Here, the extent and detail can vary depending on where. But so many guys think, oh man, the schools are great, they're fantastic. Don't be naive. Come on. You don't think you're taking your 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old girl that's not going to be influenced by someone that's selling drugs at school or a vendor? In a lot of cases, that's what it is. R said there's a vendor there that sells it at school. And it's all drugs. So what you have to do is you have to be aware of what you're doing when you're bringing your kids here. And don't think that it's going to be perfect, because it's not going to be. I'm not saying that it's better here or better here. I'm not saying anything. All I'm saying is what I know from the environment here. We just transferred her to another school in town, and they said, well, don't put her here, a drug problem. So the police, Ruth, we know the police. I know the police because I just know them, okay? So we're friends. So they said, no, don't put them in this school, 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 because we got guys there, we're trying to solve the drug problems in these schools. So we ended up putting her in this school here. There's only 7 people in her 10th grade. So 7 people in 11th grade. So many people. So it's a very small school. It is a Christian school, Baptist Christian. So the environment there is controllable and good. Now, another thing I want to talk about is this. Don't be so naive that you're bringing your kids here and it's actually going to be a perfect world for you. It's not going to be. The thing of it is that per capita, per 1,000, they were talking about crime rates. Crime rates, of course, is higher here because they don't report all the crimes. There's no reporting like it is in the States. Crime here is more in a lot of areas. Now, people tell me, oh man, behold, we don't have a problem. Of course you have a problem. Well, you know, I live in Naga and Iloilo, and I live all these places. Well, Naga is the drug capital of the world. You know, you can go online and you see that. It just says, we have a drug problem here. But Iloilo, some of the wonderful, San Fernando, some of the beautiful places, Baguio, some of the places that are just great and fantastic. I can only vouch for here, but I'm just saying, if you're going to put your child in school, you might really think about where, what, when, and how you're going to pick them up and make sure someone's there. You have to gauge and watch everything here all the time. I've never had to worry before in my life. I've never worried about anything because I raised kids. You know, I had kids, 3 boys. So I know exactly what it entails. I've never had to worry about any of that stuff in the States. Even, of course, I know things changed the last 30 years, but here in the instance of 40 years, but here it's just a constant thing. So luckily she's in a school, you know, that is, you know, guard in, guard out. Not all schools have guards. Some have, some don't. Guard in, guard out, must have badge, must this. Parents can't go in and nobody else can go in. But that still doesn't stop kids. Now, what happened is I told her not to get involved in this gang. Don't do this. Stay out of that. Get out of that. They have their emblems. Because I noticed on signs here in Davao is worse. On street corners, you see the markings. I said, that's gang. Didn't say anything. Or I said, oh yeah, that's gang. I said, what? Oh yeah, that's the school over here, and that's over here. So even here, we're going to school. I said, that's gang. She goes, I know. Daddy, that's the rival down the road claiming it's their territory and this, that, and other. So you've got to be prepared for that. Now, another thing I want to tell you this is very, very, very important. I don't know if anybody will listen to me, but this is so important. When your kids here are taught so differently than they are. They have curriculum here. They have CHED and they have Department of Education. And they're taught, okay, teach all the students this in 8th grade, teach all these students this, and teach them this. Not all schools follow that guideline. Ours in 10th grade, and she's learning stuff from 7th grade. Here, and in here when she was here in CDO, she was learning stuff that was new to her, that was a year behind from the school in CMU. But CMU already went through that, so she was ahead of the game. So when I know what that answer to that question is. Yeah, I know what the answer to this question is. I know what the answer to this question is because schools fall behind. Now, she's learning stuff in this new school that are in 7th grade. She said, Daddy, I had this in 7th grade. She goes, she had 28 pages to, answer all the long questions, 8.5 by 11. And so it was a long sheet, 16, I'm sorry, the long sheet, the legal. And so she's answering all the questions, I said, you were really good at it. She goes, well, I already know them because this is in 7th grade. So you got to think about this. If you're thinking that it's pie in the sky, well, it is here. But then when you have your students in school and you're trying to teach them, and hopefully they're getting a good education, they may be learning stuff from who knows what. And in a lot of schools, they don't even catch up at all. There's a lot of students here that in 10th and 11th grade are said that can't read or write. She says in her class here, there's quite a few students that cannot read. And I'm talking read. Filipino cannot read their own language. So the teacher had RR here teach some of the students in the room, helping them because she's so good at English and Filipino. And so she had a class of so many. So it made her feel really good and important. But then on the other hand, it made me think to myself, how far behind are they if they cannot read? And they're in the 10th grade. So Can they read in USA in the 10th grade? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not saying anything is any better. But if you have a child and you're raising that child, you might need to take the time and listen to that child and read to that child and give them math. There's not a day goes by. RR, 6 times 999. What? 6 times 999. Well, she figures it up in her head. Oh, well, 6 times 999 is 6,000 minus 9. Okay. So she knows exactly what it is. And I constantly do that to her. All right, read me this. So in the mornings, she reads verses in the Bible. We have worship, and she reads those verses in the Bible. Every morning we have her read a cover story. And in the cover story, it helps her, Omar, what are you eating? You better not be eating anything over there. Okay, it's a good boy. So on the other hand, we want to make sure that she understands that. And her math in English and her Filipino is okay, it's up to the standards, and she does very well. But she's telling me the struggles. Now, going back to the drugs and things like that, I just want to say this, that I don't care who you are. If nobody listens to me, that's fine. It's nothing off my back. I'm just letting the guys know it's very important. If you have a child here, and so many guys will tell me, oh, it's a perfect world, man. I tell you what, we don't have a problem. We don't have crime. There's crime everywhere. I don't care where you're at in the Philippines. I don't care. You live on an island, there's crime. Somebody is stealing something. Somebody stole somebody's phone. Somebody stole this. Somebody stole that. There's crime everywhere. No matter where I have been. I've not been to all the islands. And I've talked to some guys been here 30 plus years. And they said, yes, crime everywhere. La Union. He said it was so bad in La Union one time, he said, I left. I sold my house and left. Guy told me last week. I said, is the crime that bad? He goes, yeah, it's bad. So it's bad for him wherever he lived. So is the whole town bad? Maybe not necessarily. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that don't come here with these on that are rose colored and think everything is going to be perfect and everything is a perfect world. It's not. It's not perfect in the States for sure. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that I have encountered a lot more here than I ever did. And I even talked to my friends that have children in schools there, and they said, yes, sure, there's stress and pressure and worry and guards and everything else. But the same happens here in the same instance. There's instances where kids go missing here. They're just not reported. There's instances where 2 children was missing here, where we're at. They don't know where they're at. So there's always something. Is it on the news? No. Because how is someone going to keep up with all the millions and millions and millions of crime? I mean, somebody tried to take my phone the other day at the mall. So you have to, some guy, there's a guard right there at the bowling alley, and there was another guard right around the corner right there, and then there's a guard inside the bowling alley, and I was walking right by the bowling alley, and they tried to take my phone. How smart was that guy? I have a grasp on it. My hand's, big hand on a little Note 10, so I surrounded the phone. But where's he going to go? The guards would have had him, but they don't care. When you got to think, criminal does not think. All they're doing is thinking of the moment, seizing the moment, and already have a plan of escape. Could have been a culprit right down the corner in the bathroom. He's exchanged. There's many different, and there's an exit there. So there's many things you got to think about. So I don't care where it is. The guy just literally grabbed the phone. I said, where are you going? And of course, the guard caught him, and he didn't get, 50 feet. Oh, you got 100 feet. I'm sorry. And the guard got him. A big old heavy guard grabbed him by the arm, threw him on the floor. But things like that. He said, where you want? I said, I don't know. You guys didn't. It ain't bother me. I don't care. Do whatever you need to do. So, but that's the thing. Always be prepared of anything and everything at all times. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys next time on Tom and Ruth Filipina.